Vicente if he would just give some opening remarks, and I hope it's about kind of all of us, you know, what's brought all of us here. But Tony, do you mind, County Executive?
Thank you. Well, it's my great pleasure to be with all of you today, and most importantly, to be with our new congressman. In the short time that Brandon and I have become friends, and really now working together, we've had numerous conversations about the direction, obviously, of the country, but also the direction of our region. And I can't think of anyone better. I mean, I think he ran an outstanding campaign, obviously.
Because of the people, many of the people in this room.
You know, there's no question, you know, I mean, there were a lot of speculation early on, but we had no doubt that this was going to be a race that no one would soon forget. And here we are today. You know, in his short time, I mean, obviously, you know, as others, he got baptized by fire over the last week or so in the halls of Congress. And he looks very, very well for the weather.
For all that bruising
that he's gone through. But
yeah.
I'm excited. You know, he called me yesterday. We've had a couple tours of different parts of our region, you know, from Griffiths to Utica to Rome and in between. And certainly he's seen a great deal of this county in terms of the campaign, but more importantly, he's seen what's been happening here. And for all of us working together, I know that this next year, or next 2 years of his time, and going forward from that, are going to be time when great things are going to happen in this region because we have great leadership as we have had in Washington, you know, prior. So without anything more to add to that, other than I'm very excited about this today. I'm proud to be a part of this little gathering today, but more importantly, I'm proud to see Brandon Williams as our congressman and looking forward to what he's going to be doing. And word to anybody out there, you're going to hear a lot more about Brandon Williams over the next couple of years, and then some.
and not just attack ads.
And
A little reprieve for the moment.
And in DC, he's going to make an impact, but back home here, he's going to make an impact as he already has. So I'm very,
Tony,
congratulate
thank you.
you, wish you Godspeed.
Thank We're very honored to have Julie Grow Denton, newly elected to the Supreme Court. Along. And what has to be one of your first official acts here.
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
I'm
sir.
very honored that you're here.
Well, thank you very much for asking. I appreciate it. We'll have you put your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand. I'll administer the oath. I, Brandon Williams.
I, Brandon Williams,
do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
That I will support and defend.
that I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear.
That I will bear
True faith and allegiance to the same.
true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely
Without any mental reservation.
without any mental reservation
Or purpose of evasion.
or a purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
That I will well and faithfully discharge
The duties of the office.
the duties of the office
On which I am about to enter.
on which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Listen, I'm very honored that you'll be here, and I'll try to be, you know, as we say in the nuclear Navy, be bright, be brief, and be gone. But I do want to get a sense of, a personal sense of what it's like to be here, just to step into this. Everyone here only knows me in this context, and yet this is really a very small part of my life and for Steffi and I's journey. And so it's very awkward, maybe even in a way. It's very unusual So you were more at home and comfortable with me being in Congress than I am myself. And so it is very humbling to stand on the House floor. I'm one of 12,000, less than 12,000 Americans that have ever had the privilege of serving in Congress, and that's deeply moving to me. I'm the first nuclear submarine veteran to serve in Congress in 50 years, and only the second in our nation's history. And so there's a lot of things that I get to experience that I'd love to share with you just for a moment. A year ago today, and I've said this to many of you, I didn't know any members of the Republican committees in this district. Not just in Oneida County, but in Onondaga County and Madison County. So, truly a political outsider. It can't be any more of a political outsider. Is something with Tony, and this is not going to embarrass you, but I was in front of the other 221 Republican members of Congress, right before we started voting for Speaker, so 2 weeks ago. And I felt very passionate that there was just so much grievance being vented within our conference, within the Republican members of Congress, and I'm there to get to work. And so I stood up in front of everyone. The freshmen don't typically do this. I stood up in front of everyone in one of our conference meetings. And, I said, I got 500 days at sea on a submarine. And if you take about half of this room, there were about 300 people in the room. If you take half of this room, I got 500 days with half of you in a steel tube for 80 days at a time. And the room went silent because they thought, oh my gosh, I couldn't stand, an hour. And I said, and on a submarine, there's no easy way off. And no matter what, you all end up at the same destination together. It's just the way of it. And so I went to this story and I said, and this is right in front of, Kevin McCarthy. I said, Kevin, your fund spent over $1 million against me in my primary, supporting Steve Wells and attacking me. I asked the other members, I said, can any of you say that? Can any of you say that the Congressional Leadership Fund, Kevin McCarthy Super PAC, spent $1 million against you? Let me answer that for you. No, because I'm the only one. I'm the only one that survived and won the general election and is here today.
Yeah.
I said, Kevin, did I come to you with any grievance? And he said, no, you didn't. And I said, did I come to you asking for some special deal or to work something out? You spent money against me? And he goes, no, you didn't. And I said, I didn't. Because I didn't come here to air my grievances. I didn't come here to share my grievance. I don't have time for my grievances. And pointing to the other members, I said, and I don't have time for yours either. Let's get to work. And I had about 50 other members of our Republican conference come up and say, hey, we really appreciated your words. And the fact is that much of the establishment, all of the establishment was against me because I was out of the blue, I was new. And, but I don't have any time for that grievance. Tony and I have had the same conversation, right? That, after I won, you and I had the same conversation I had with Kevin, right? Is that I'm not here for grievance. And there's plenty of grievances even among ourselves, to be honest, right? There is. But I'm not here for that. We have a country to save. And I don't say that's not a talking point. We literally do.
Yes.
And so I am a citizen that just stood up and said, I'm running for Congress. And I'm here to represent you. Doesn't matter what party you're from or what your political persuasion is. I do have to say, God bless Oneida County. because quite honestly, if you guys had not rallied, there would be a Democrat from Syracuse representing you today. And for some in this room, that may be what you want, but standing in the way of being dominated by other parts of the district is the things that you guys do together and that you've rallied around. Everybody has rallied around and really supported me. So we're all in this submarine together. No matter what, we're gonna arrive in the same place, unless you move to Florida. But I just last night got word that I will be on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. That's a pretty big deal. I have also been told by leadership that I'm the first in line to get on Energy and Commerce, which is probably the most important committee for the resources and being able to direct things. And so as opportunities open up there, hopefully I will get that opportunity. Turns out there's not that many nuclear engineers in Congress. In fact, I'm the only one. So they really do value the expertise that you selected, and really, I appreciate that I get a chance to bring that expertise to Congress. This office, so the whole district is run by Chris Burtis out of Syracuse, is where her home is. Her husband Tim is on the Onondaga County legislature. And I've known Chris's brother for 10 or 12 years and her dad for 10 or 12 years. But Chris Burtis is the district director. She's terrific. She worked for John Katko previously to do this job, and she is here for constituent services. And so she's over the whole district. John Salka, of course, very honored to, very honored, and he has his own dramatic interest. John Salka. Bring him up, and here he is in the flesh. But John brings relationships in this community and into Madison County. He and I share very similar political views, and not to besmirch you, so hopefully, John will faithfully represent us here, and he cares about all of you. And the staff that we have put together for this are all people that care about the constituents here. And it really doesn't matter what your political background is. We're here to represent everybody. I'll leave you with this comment. I say this all the time on the Hill, and it gets a lot of people kind of wide-eyed. I say, I'm here to loot and pillage 434 other congressional districts for the benefit of Central New York and Mohawk Valley. We can talk about being conservative. We can talk, and then there's what we're going to do for home, and that's always going to be different. But I am here to represent you guys. So if you have issues, bring them up here. We're tracking every call, every email, every inquiry, and we're going to do the best we can. I'm not going to promise you stuff. I'm not going to show up and say, I'm going to get, this building or that post office, other things that I've heard here. But I will give you straight answers, and I hope you find that refreshing. It may not be comforting all the time, but if you ask me a question, I'll give you a direct answer to the best of my ability. And a lot of politicians, quite honestly, may tell you things that you want to hear, and they actually know how to work with people a lot better than I do. So that's going to be something I have to learn. But I will be straightforward, and we'll get answers. If you ask questions, we're going to work hard to serve you. So thank you all so much for being here.